applying for naturalization while being married to a U.S. citizen. Under INA 319A, you're eligible to become a U.S. citizen through naturalization in 3 years rather than 5 years, as long as you meet certain criteria. In this video, we're going to go through what these criteria and what these requirements are. First of all, you have to be 18 years old or older to file for naturalization. Second, you have to have been a permanent resident for at least 3 years. Technically, you can submit your application 90 days before your third year anniversary of being a permanent resident, but other than that, you have to be a permanent resident for at least 3 years. In addition, you have to have lived in a marital union with a U.S. citizen for at least 3 years. So this is the biggest, most critical part of these cases comes down to this factor. The USCIS officer will want to see proof that you're married to a U.S. citizen and living in a marital union. So think of all those documents you submitted if you filed for a marriage-based green card proving your marriage. They're all similar bona fide documents proving you living in a marital union for 3 years. The next requirement is that you have to prove continuous residence for the whole duration of those 3 years. So what that means is if you moved abroad while you were a permanent resident or obtained a re-entry permit, anything that would break your continuous residence, at that point the clock would start ticking again and you wouldn't have the total of 3 years. So make sure you have continuous residence for the totality of those 3 years. In addition, you have to meet the physical presence requirements. So what that means is out of these 3 years, you have to have physically been present for at least 18 months to meet this physical presence requirement. So what this means is, what I advise all of my clients is to look at, entry stamps, I-94 records, calculate the amount of days you were inside the United States and make sure they are 18 months at least out of these 3 years. In addition, you have to have resided in the USCIS district or the state for at least 3 months prior to filing your application. So why is this important? For example, at our New York office, a lot of people relocate to New York from all over the country. And a lot of times our clients, they ask us, I moved to New York from, say, California a month ago. I want to file for naturalization. Well, you can't. You have to wait 3 months before you can submit that naturalization application. So make sure you've resided in the state or the USCIS district for at least 3 months prior to filing. In addition to these requirements, you also need to meet the basic requirements for naturalization, which include the English language test as well as the Civics test. You have to pass both of those. And finally, you have to show good moral character in order for the officer to approve your naturalization application. If you meet all of these criteria, you may be eligible under INA 319A, and you may be able to file to become a U.S. citizen through naturalization in 3 years rather than the standard 5-year waiting period. I hope you found this video helpful.